Alright, so happy E3 everyone, or happy E3 Eve I might say everyone, and well we did something Wicked Studios thought we'd do the trendy, super important thing of having a hype, fears, whatever you want to call it, conversation, because while they've shown off a lot of stuff for E3 this year, they've also been pretty cagey about what they're actually showing. There's a lot of speculation, and well, last year's E3 kind of sucked. So, and as always, I'm Charlie, we have... Introduce yourself, Jeff!
I'm Jeff. You may know me as Invader Gur if you watch any of the Die to Minion stuff. That's it.
I'm Jim. I work with Charlie on Something Wicked Studios, and you might know me as Jim the Doctor.
I am Henry, aka Nomad Har on most everything, aka Kraken Zero, the wrestler.
I'm Mr. President.
It's David. Except it's David. I'm not sure why he's
He had a bit of a mental breakdown.
The current president, Richard Nixon.
He still thinks it's 1969.
Current future president for you.
Future president for me, okay.
Yeah, I think elected once. So.
Okay, Skype allows us to see people in different geographical
locations. You go to the future in your time machine to rule the world
not
again?
different temporal locations.
Not to get too far off the point. So, E3, is anyone actually excited about anything they know about coming out for E3?
You know, honestly not. Like, I'll be really blunt. First of all, I looked through E3 schedule. Like, half the stuff is blocked. Like, wait till the release. The things that do I don't know. It seems like to me that they're just carrying these franchises to death. Like, Halo 5. Metal Gear Solid's a good series, but, it's just basically another why Big Boss is really strange and weird.
Well, so, to defend Metal Gear a little bit, this is the end of Metal Gear Solid, apparently. Like, Kojima said this is the last one he's doing, at least, and can you really do Metal Gear Solid without Kojima?
That's true. It's not going to be the same.
No, but I get you. There's a lot of franchises that are making an iteration, either finally in this current generation, or for the first time in a long time, so...
one of the things, once again, this is an iteration, but I am kind of looking forward to, because I really did love the concept. It's called it's a game, but I call it a concept game because it wasn't that deep, but it was fun. Was Mirror's Edge? They're coming up with Mirror's Edge 2.
Yeah.
I like the parkour element of it. I wish the game was not very linear and very short and was a lot more interactive, but the physics of the game as you run through it is really fun. I'd like to see it in an expanded world, and that's what I'm hoping with I think they're calling it Catalyst.
I don't. Yeah, unless the rename for it.
Yeah.
Catalyst sounds right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'd say that, Mirror's Edge, I think that's one that deserved another take on it, because the first one, it's just that sometimes the controls felt a little, not quite there. It really was a try at trying to get the sort of Prince of Persia style of parkour-ish gameplay, Assassin's Creed, but making it first person, making it feel like you're really there. I think
sure.
And I'd say I'm also kind of looking forward to see what they could do with it. If it's going to be tighter gameplay, it's like you said, if it's going to be a more involving storyline.
Yeah, and world.
And an entire world.
Yeah, an open world Mirror's Edge would be cool. I hope they solve the motion sickness issues.
I didn't have, but imagine if you played on Oculus. Can you imagine?
Well, so we're gonna get to Oculus a little later. That's me and David's favorite topic to fight about.
It's the way of the future.
You got anything, David?
The way of the future.
I want to see more wangs in Mirror's Edge. Lots more wangs.
What?
Okay.
Wait, did you really have a mental break?
You got anything, Jeff? I know you're kind of obsessed with League still, so League 2.
I am looking forward to the new Fallout game because it's going to be back over in me and Charlie's place of origin.
No, that is cool.
Even though neither of us technically live in Boston anymore. I think I wrote down here. I made a list of the things I actually gave a shit about. It looks like Bethesda, I guess, has got something to do with the Doom series, which is kind of weird because I typically have always associated that with ID Software.
I think Bethesda bought it.
Yeah, they bought it.
Yeah. Okay, so there's the explanation.
Yeah.
And then Square Enix is finally having a press conference, and that means Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts is finally going to get some more talking about, which I'm actually kind of excited for both those series. Because I like the hack and slash with the epic stories, and I believe with the new Final Fantasy, they're finally going to be bringing back they're going to be bringing in the Kingdom Hearts hack and slash, but it's going to be a Kingdom Hearts game.
We might get Kingdom Hearts 3 after all.
That would be cool.
That has been officially like
Rumored.
announced. Yeah, officially. Here's nothing but it exists.
Get hyped to get hyped.
Yeah. Sony's making another Ratchet and Clank game. I'm a fan of the Ratchet and Clank games. That's just another, good points to Insomniac.
No, it's nice to see them going back to old franchises that have had a long cooling off period. I'm not sure I want another Master Chief, as Jim mentioned, but Ratchet and Clank's been dead for 5-6 years.
That's true. I mean, that's kind of on a hiatus until recently. But I'm just looking through the schedule right now, and the ones that are real. I mean, you have Halo 5. You've got Deus Ex again, which that's not too bad. You've got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Assassin's Creed, Tom Clancy. I mean, over and over and over again with these franchises. I mean, I'll give them a little leeway with the old franchises that have been dead, resurrecting. But I mean, come on. That being said, maybe the unannounced titles are going to be really new things.
Even like Mighty Number 9, it's just going to be Mega Man.
Yeah.
It's just Mega Man. It's the team that made the newer Mega Man.
Well, and this is the first year we're getting a PC console press conference. You guys are much more PC gamers than I am. Is that a good thing even? Does the PC need a press conference?
Well,
there's tons of games. If you go on Steam, there's an overload of games, and many of them are unique to PCs and not on
I think because it is a smaller market, it's a more niche market. You get more different, and it's also an easier market to create for, to generate an amateur market. I think you get a lot of very unique games.
No, I think more my comment is the point of PC is you have lots of small developers.
Yeah.
Just putting a spotlight on, I guess, the bigger ones that can afford or are part of this PC press conference. Is that actually a good thing? Part of the joys of PC are Greenlight and how easy you can get Kickstarter games on it and good old games. They have their problems, but it's a easy to develop for platform. You can get your game out there relatively inexpensively compared to any of the consoles.
Here's the thing I'm going to say. Getting wider notoriety for the PC market is not going to hurt the creativity of it because it's still going to be an easy platform to develop for. It's just going to put more money into it. So I think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Any things people don't want to see this year?
Halo 5.
Halo 5, the new Tomb Raider game that they've been advertising for on fucking Twitch, where they are likening Lara Croft to Ernest Shackleton and Amelia Earhart, is absolutely hilariously you guys know who Lara Croft is. She goes and steals stuff for herself. She's not she's not bettering mankind. She didn't cross the English Channel. She didn't,
She's not Tomb Rescuer. She's Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The name kind of
serious.
She's not National Monument Preserver.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't National Treasure, yeah.
Yeah.
No, if I did
mixed feelings about the new Assassin's Creed game, because the trailers are basically you're in the the Industrial Revolution era, and once again they've gone back to their roots of making the main character a douchebag, which for the first game totally panned out. I'll tell you, it was a great douchebag.
There's only so much douchebag.
And he has a good character arc to him. He does have a good character arc. It's not just he remains an idiot. He actually grows. He grows as a character. That's what I've liked about it, even Black Flag. You start out as the king of douchebags, but you eventually start moving. You become a better person.
But he's also somehow the most likable Assassin's Creed character written to date. So.
But he has there again a good character arc where he tries to redeem himself. He realizes that he's been bad. That's something that a lot of people get into. It's something people can enjoy. The redemption story.
No, it's fair. So I guess what I don't want to see, I don't want to see a single HD re-release, re-up, whatever you want to call it, announced this year. If I can go an entire E3, I don't want to hear it's the game you loved last year. Yeah, we're re-releasing it in HD for the new consoles and PC. Please.
That's not really worth an E3 venue.
Grand Theft Auto got it. Not Life is Strange.
It's one thing if it's a re-releasing a modernized game of a game that's really old.
I don't want to see a single one. If you want to do a montage of here's what's coming to the console this year and you show HD whatever, I'm fine. If you spend 5 minutes talking about how you're bringing Mario 2 to the Wii U and stunning updated HD graphics, I don't want to see that anymore. I want new, I guess.
That that's what goes back to the whole. There's so many franchises. There's so many I mean, 3 E3s from now, it's gonna be like Halo 8.
Yeah.
Need for Speed. I don't even know how many.
Well, and the reality is Halo 8.
Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, pretty awesome CODs get shot from off-screen 6.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Call of Duty. I mean, you have freaking like sequels for the sequels. I mean, you have like the Modern Warfare 3 timeline. You have we have Black Ops 2, which is part of the Call of Duty series, which is a sequel to Call of Duty 4. Somehow 2 comes after 4. Yeah, it's just as absurd. It's really absurd. And what I would love to see, and I'm sure everyone would agree with me, is something really creative, something really unique, and something different. And one of the things I'm kind of curious though is Mad Max. The game is coming out.
Yeah, I've
I
heard
hope
some.
it's just not Fallout 3 with Mad Max skins.
I have some reservations about that because everything I saw looked very cool, except for the one thing they didn't touch on, which is there's a fucking person hanging off the back of his car at every given moment.
Okay, so I know a little bit more about that. They explained a little bit.
Ashley in my life.
No, they explained it a little bit to me. Okay, so I actually know something about this. He's like a little sidekick character. He fixes your car when you're in like bunkers doing missions and stuff like that. And I want my list is a list of games I want to be excited for, and Fallout 4 is on that list along with Mad Max. It's I'd like to be excited, but I've been burned by your franchise in the past, or you haven't shown me enough. I don't know. I
look it up.
I want to say at one point Bethesda was working on a Mad Max game, and now it's been handed off to someone else. And the trailers look cool.
It's Warner Brothers Studios.
Well, they're part of it. I think they're the ones publishing. I'm not sure who's actually developing it though, but
yeah,
that's inconsequential, I guess. It's
one of those things that popped out of nowhere. When they released the movie, oh by the way, the game's coming out in a month.
In September.
Or September,
yeah.
But like the time frame between when the movie came out and the game is like.
Yeah. Well, so like, is anyone actually? It's like we have No Man's Sky that they don't tell us more about this year. I'm gonna start being worried. I'm gonna go from cynical to worried about kind of thing. Like Final Fantasy 15, as Jim mentioned, they gotta show more of it at this point. They can't just get away with a trailer anymore. I think Halo 5, as much as we can make fun of it, the Master Chief Collection launched terribly. Like it was a buggy, dead on arrival POS, which it works now-ish, but they're still fixing it. Like they had to do a beta for a massive patch they rolled out for it. Like, is there anything that what do you think could sink this E3 if that makes any sense? Like,
I think the main thing is, and I'm just seeing more and more every time, well, especially when the new consoles come out, is a general laziness about game theory among game developers.
Yeah.
That is, they're just making really weak games. I don't necessarily need to see new stuff. There's only so much new stuff they can really come out with.
Yeah.
If you can just use the same types of, gunplay or strategy and just make it well, do it well. It's not about doing more. Do the thing you want to do well. Don't try to do everything. Do a few things really well. Do the storyline really well. Have balanced weapons and balanced combat. Give people a reason to care about the characters. I mean, these are things that have been so missing from some of the, what are supposed to be AAA titles, that it just tells you that they have no Q&A going on. They have barely any development going on. And they've been incredibly lazy about testing these games because of the massive amount of game-breaking, day zero faults.
no, it's fair. It's
I wonder. Sorry.
No.
I was wondering if that. I mean, first of all, yeah, they have now that safety net that kind of makes them lazy of being able to release patches. Also, I wonder if they're just getting more pressures from publishers to just start.
Well, so it's the goal is to make money at the end of the day.
Maxing it.
Yeah. Well, it's like Call of Duty comes out every year for reasons. It's one of the few annual installments franchise. Like, it makes money every single year. It's not like the bad one, Black Ops. I think still made like $9 million pretty quickly or something. Like, and as much as I want to trash stuff for that, but at the same time, I played some games this year where it's like, by comparison, Call of Duty is a lot better than this. Like, there's something
you get to play like JFK running around shooting zombies.
And there's something to be said for you have a formula and it works. And yes, it appeals to a certain group of people, but more money in the industry in general is not necessarily a bad thing. So not to trash annual franchises too hard, but yeah, eventually it's an innovation though within them, or just a year off. Like a year without Assassin's Creed or two would be great, especially seeing as we've now gotten. Last year we got 2 Assassin's Creeds, and none of them were great. One of them launched poorly, even. Yeah,
Well, I also think like the line between developers and publishers is starting to blur as publishers are starting to have more and more. They're getting more and more involved with developers. They'll be like, towards the end of the deadline, they'll be like, oh hey, let's make a multiplayer feature to it.
Sure.
Or, oh hey, let's add this feature. And the developers are still under that same timeline pressure to get it cranked out. But now they're like, oh crap, our publisher will not publish this game unless we put this. We only have like 3 weeks to do it.
No, sure. And so we talked about the Seminar Game of the Year presentation. Evolve.
Yep.
Did not do well. That was the big darling last year at E3. A year ago, that was Titanfall. That again kind of had a really exciting lead up to launch, and then it launched and kind of...
Well, that's what happens when you make a game that just isn't fun. When all you care about is the visuals and making a good PR trailer, and you don't care about actually crafting a good game. It doesn't need a bunch of new stuff in it, just needs to be well done.
I wonder when they're doing their gaming testing and to test like, is this a fun game, is this a fun console? I wonder who they're pulling from to make those
They
determinations.
don't. I know for a fact they don't. I used to work for game companies. They don't.
Because like movies,
They
they'll
just-
have like, what are those things called?
It's a couple of CEOs up there and maybe a few middle managers that are deciding what the kids like these days.
Well, so...
And they're usually dead freaking wrong.
Well, I only bring this up because now we've 2 years in a row, we've had the media and the general gamers in general be basically completely wrong about how excited they should be about a game. Like, I'll even throw Destiny under that bus some. A game I still play way too much of, and you can make the argument of temper expectations. That one at least worked and people are still playing it, but have we hit a point with E3 where the hype train is too big and now we're working against ourselves? Like, do we leave E3 with this idea of this game is going to be perfect? And maybe what they showed E3 is enough of a teaser to get your appetite really going, but we've now had 2 years in a row where 2 games that were supposed to be the end-all, beat-alls just kind of flopped. Yeah. They weren't bad games, they just weren't amazing games. They didn't live to their potential even.
Yeah. Well, it could also just be that E3's marketing has just gone up so high that our expectations are just so high.
No, that's the case. That's definitely probably the case. To divert some, let's talk about my favorite topic to bash with some frequency. VR and gaming. Do we think this is the year we actually have to start giving a flying fuck about VR and gaming?
You've been very quiet, Mr. President.
So is my wang.
Alright, so Jeff, you're the one that probably of all of us could actually run a VR kit on their computer and actually play games that would benefit from it, like Elite Dangerous and stuff like that. Do you even care about Oculus and other stuff at this point?
Honestly, not really. I mean, I've got 2 monitors. I've got the extent of anything I've ever really wanted from a computer visually. I've played seen things with 3D and whatnot. It comes off more as a gimmick more often than not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watch.
What?
Gimmick. I watch.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, so building on that concept, you have Sony who's approaching the Morpheus as a peripheral, and you then have Oculus and what's the Steam one called? Like it's with HTC. They're making a Steam specific one. They just actually announced today. We're filming a little bit before E3.
Yeah.
They announced the Oculus controller and stuff like that. Like,
Well, yeah,
Yeah, with a big ring around.
yeah,
the
like
wrist.
it's.
Yes.
Yeah, it actually kind of looks cool.
Is Sony correct in pitching this as something you're gonna buy as a peripheral, but it won't actually change? Like, their whole thing is it's basically a separate RAM box you plug into the back of your PS4.
It's called Steam VR.
Yeah, Steam VR. The other ones are basically saying you have to build a monster rig to run this. Basically, what I'm saying is this the new Kinect?
Well, here's the thing. It goes back to this. I mean, it takes a lot of money and investment that people will have to additionally do to their computers to play this. And the other thing too is VR. With the VR, I mean, I think VR is fun but cool. But at the end of the day, I put it at the gimmick level at this point.
Yeah.
There's only so many games where it'll really enhance the experience. I mean, it's not going to enhance RTS. It's not going to enhance third-person shooters. Really, only for first-person games.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's going to shoot itself in the foot, in the same way where you have like the Wii, the PlayStation Move, and the Kinect. We're all based off of a concept of like, were they well for the Wii, and then got shoehorned into the other 2.
Yeah.
And if you have an idea like this VR thing that it's only good for first-person shooters, all the other things you mentioned, like MOBAs, RTSs, Memorpicas, etc., are going to get the shoehorn, and it's going to suck.
Yeah. Like, great. Now my, freaking StarCraft 3, I could play with a helmet on my head and get vertigo. But
see through the eyes of every grunt you send to their death.
That actually would be entertaining.
Droids really feel like you just see like memories of their family like flash across the screen.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Progression simulator.
Oh,
it's like Apartment.
Yeah.
It's like reading the Iliad.
Oh my god, who's that?
Look, in the Oculus defense, I don't think you guys are taking a wide enough view on this. If you play StarCraft 3, imagine if you could look down the battlefield and with the Kinect or gloves, circle the units that you want or point to them really quickly and then move them a certain direction. It would go so much more quickly than this point-click madness. I hate it.
Well,
I don't play RTSs anymore. It would be a more intuitive interface. Just the technology needs to get there. The early adopters will pick it up.
Yeah.
They'll work the bugs out of shoehorning the games, and then eventually, I hope,
I think
get a little bit more adoption. I just think people need to be creative with it and open their minds.
one of the things is I am open to it. I'm not as harsh as Charlie is because I think what it really comes down to is how wide of a market can they capture and how good can they market
It's going to be
just
small,
like any other new technology.
It's going to be small at first and they know that, and
Yeah.
that's why they're coming out with these version 1.0 things. I think they realize
I mean, look at the Wii. How many people said that the Wii controller was the worst thing ever before it actually came out? They're like, oh, that's
it's
a
not going to do
horrible
anything, it
idea.
looks stupid, we don't play, it's a good point.
And it appealed to a
now
large market, and it was
appealed. It's actually easy to use. Actually, a pretty cool controller. I like the Wiimote myself and the nunchuck. And yeah, but there was so much hate for it before it came out. Then after it came out, it's like all that kind of disappeared. As you saw games that actually used it, at least in some sense, innovatively. Well, I like what you said about changing perspective.
Yeah,
looking
and
at
using the circle.
Game designers are going to need to think about it a little bit.
Well, so I guess that's to build on that question. Like, is the real interest moving away from the controller? Like, the Oculus controls are weird, but like, would a more touch-based, actually functioning Kinect thing be something we'd be interested in seeing coming out at E3 or something? Would that be what we're more interested in than just a VR headset? With a more intuitive way of controlling things?
like for example, when my ears perked up when you were describing being able to circle units and move them, and I realized that I guess there is ways to apply it outside an FPS style.
Oh, for sure.
The bottom line is it going to be cheap and affordable and easy to use?
Not at first.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because that's a lot of go back to the early '90s, like the 3DO, the Virtual Boy, like all of these things were like
the Sega Master System had 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
So basically, you want the Power Glove 2, but it has to work.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And actually, the Sega Master System's use of the 3D glasses was actually not bad. For a couple of games, it gave you a completely different perspective, and you can kind of look around a bit as you're playing the game. Like you were saying, being able to look around the field a bit, not be fixed in one perspective.
That came down to marketing. So once again, it's going to be marketing and ease of use and cost. That's going to really make the deal.
That's why the Wiimote. Another reason why the Wiimote did take off. It's cheap. It's a really cheap, well-designed control that's rather tough. Like, it's more likely to break your TV than it is to break itself.
Yeah, as when it first came out, many a times we saw.
As the internet showed us, yeah.
Yes.
Well, so, like, shooting for the moon, going for crazy, crazy, crazy hopes and dreams. Is there something you'd like... David, go first.
There is something in E3 I read about earlier today that I'm a little excited about.
Cool.
It's the clear and mirror OLED monitors.
Are they going to be showing that off at E3 though?
They're going to be showing it off at E3, and it's only for ads, but it's like something out of the future. It's totally clear, and the resolution's incredible. It looks gorgeous.
What do you mean clear? Is there still a screen, or is it projected?
It's like a piece of glass.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
It's right there. You can walk up to it. It's incredible. It could replace windows on stores and malls.
That
Really
cool.
Yeah. That actually could, because once again, it's easy to use. It has many applications.
They're expensive as all get up, but yeah.
I mean, but that once again, it's like the plasma TV, the flat screen TVs. They got cheaper. That I would put more confidence in than the Oculus.
It's an interesting idea, at least.
So, is it telling that the thing that got us the most excited we've heard about from E3 is a piece of technology they're going to be used to be showing ads? And I guess then to build off of that question, I hate talking about this because I like the concept of E3 existing, but do we think E3 as a conference needs to exist after all just how maddening it was last year and the rise of stuff like PAX and smaller conventions? Like,
They stopped E3 before, didn't they? Didn't they stop
Yeah.
it for a while?
Yeah. It stopped early 2000s?
Yeah, they decided the same thing.
It's a cycle. I mean, what happens is eventually
Yeah.
small conventions dominate, then people get bored, or a couple of developers get together and it's like, we got something really big, and then E3 starts up again. And it's just a cycle.
well, I guess is that indicative of E3 itself, or just how generally kind of nihilist we've all become when it comes to the game industry? We all expect most games to kind of suck at this point because we've been burned so much.
Well,
Okay, I don't know if we're as nihilistic as
That's
you,
fair.
Charlie.
I've played a lot of bad games this
You're
year.
particularly nihilistic compared to all
No
of
one
us.
hates and loves video games simultaneously more than I do.
Yeah.
and there's reason not to be. Look, there are, 40 Castlevania games?
Yeah.
And how many Call of Duties are there?
Yeah.
I said duty.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so I think they'll keep running with stuff, but
I guess we gravitate to the thing that is different. There's not another
That's
franchise
right,
game.
that's
It's going to be the clear screens, which I do think are going to be incredible, and have a lot more upgraded feature. And then Oculus, which is a wild card,
It really is.
is a wild card.
And there's also the Microsoft, there's the HoloLens, which at least
Yeah.
to me seems more applicable because you'll be able to, I don't know why, looking around and seeing stuff laid over.
Well, no, it's
your
going to
living room or
create
whatever
augmented
seems kinda neat.
reality.
Exactly, which is what Google Glass should have been, but look how Google Glass did.
It's again easy to use marketing, and then there's only so much radicalness that a populace
Can take so much
take.
change at a time. It has
that
to
they
be
can
little
take.
steps.
Yeah.
So maybe Google Glass was the martyr for that, or the.
Well, it's like they
Sacrificial lamb
had like
or
the
whatever.
Windows version of that, like that came out like almost 12 years before.
Flag move.
Yeah, they had. I remember because it was a commercial of this guy screwing a bunch of birds, but he had, and I remember
Was it Sony?
I can't remember if Sony or Windows, but they had that concept. Like it's not a new concept.
Right, it's been around and they've had it in the Air Force
Yeah.
for a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah, augmented reality in general, it's been around a while. I mean, I think the main thing is, I think the Oculus Rift is still too big and too expensive. I think that's going to be the biggest sticking point. That's been the biggest sticking point on every new technology that's come out. It's wildly expensive, and it's still, while the price is not in the thousands like it used to be for a VR helmet, it's still pretty expensive and it's still kind of clunky. That's the thing. If you can't wear it for very long, ask the Virtual Boy about that one.
Right.
That being said, I did get a chance to use one of the Oculus Rift in one of the games.
And that's what I was going
It
to say.
was-
Is who here has actually used an Oculus? Okay.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun, but once again, I could definitely see that it is only in the infancy of a concept that has already been tried and has burned before. So that's why I'm a little bit more wary. Whereas I'm a little bit more open with the clear OLED screens.
Well, so building off of that, let's go through the list of people. Start with PC, I guess. It's going to be a strange... treating PC as a console, it's kind of a weird thing to say. Treating PC as a Sony or a Microsoft, as a company, what does PC have to do to win E3?
Win E3?
If you were to... lots of people discuss who won E3 yesterday, who had the best showing, who you got most excited for. What does PC have to do to win E3? And I'll start this off with, I think they have to show me a Steam box. I don't think of as a stupid
A
investment.
steaming box? They
No,
already got that.
Well, so Steam box, if you're not familiar with this, it's the Steam console version essentially. If Steam can push out something that kind of works as a console, has
I don't think
simplicity
so.
to it, that's the one I'd be most interested to see on a PC. And that's why I think you could, at that point, make the case for, if you like the simplicity of an Xbox or a Sony or a Wii, that could convert a lot of people over to PC, because what keeps me away from PC
but it's
is
still
my
just-
bad history with PC.
But it's still just a console then. It's just another slot in the console market. It doesn't do anything else, right?
Right.
So what's the point in having a Steam box other than you get that set of Steam games?
Branding.
Sure.
That's the point, branding. Whenever you're trying to build anything, you need to build a brand. PC, it's kind of it's a label, it's a concept.
Yeah.
Steam is a brand.
So
and if you want anything to really be marketable, it has to be a brand that you're marketing. And I can see where making a Steam box can help build a brand. I'm not thoroughly convinced it's the best idea, But I see what they're doing. They're trying to build a brand for PCs.
And I look at Steam Box as kind of the introductory drug to PC gaming. You have people like me that have been burned so many times with PC ownership, the high-end stuff, because I've had stuff fry over the years, that I moved away from it simply because I wanted my stuff to work reliably.
And that's what it comes down to, and that's the big reason why PC is such a niche market is console. You stick the game in, 99.9% of the time it works. And then also the speed of obsolescence is a lot slower with a console than with. No. I mean, in terms of like how many games have they released before like you realize I'm gonna have to update parts.
I think that's arguable.
I think it's. I'd say that's actually in PC's favor. Like,
if you start initially with a very high system.
I have a 6-year-old laptop that can still play thousands upon thousands of games.
Yeah, but it has backwards compatibility, which is the difference. But let's not
get stuck. A lot of the games that there is formats of games that do not translate to console that we were talking about earlier, or some of them I believe before the game started, where you have MOBAs, RTSs, and MMORPGs. And a lot of these, if you look at games like League of Legends, they're not pretty.
Yeah.
WoW isn't pretty. They're designed to be available to a wide market. You can play a lot of these games on some pretty old, shit-tastic computers, and they'll run fine. And these are games that you'll never see on a console just because the compatibility isn't there.
Is that so? You're saying that the backwards compatibility, if they brought on board, say, Sega and Nintendo and said, "Hey, we're going to come out with emulators for all of these," you get people flocking to those, or is it?
I think it's literally
people already do. They sell that on Steam. You can get all the Final Fantasy series is on Steam.
You get the Genesis games.
The Sega emulators are on Steam. You can get all the old Sonic the Hedgehog games. I have them. I get them every time Steam sale. They go down to like $2 each. I snag them up.
I have a bunch too myself. I did the same thing. I agree. Yeah.
No. My point is more if PC is doing fine. It's obviously not in trouble, unlike some of the other ones are. If PC wants to truly win, it's win the E3 for lack of a better phrase. PC market and the console market are always at odds with each other for dumb, stupid reasons. But you have people like me that have jumped back and forth between the two over the past because we've had that experience.
They need the VR to absolutely blow people away. If PC's going to win, the VR and the stuff like that's going to go on the PC needs to floor people.
Yeah.
It needs to be the most amazing thing ever and
Well, I think it's the simplicity. They have to find some way of pitching simplicity of use. And I'm not saying PCs are hard to use.
No, but the Oculus
compared to a console.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to more complexity, the more narrow the market.
So moving from those that are doing fine to those not doing so fine, Nintendo. What can Nintendo possibly do to an E3?
It doesn't. I don't think it needs anything. I mean, if you look at the amount of games sold, its portable consoles outsell everything else 10 to 1.
Yes,
10 to 1.
Yes,
do they still?
Yes.
They do, and what they've done is they've gone and done what I was saying, 6 months ago they needed to do. To you, Charlie, I think we had a conversation. They need to take their IP and they need to just say, okay, we're going to start putting this out there and making all sorts of things with it. The amiibos, the mobile platform stuff, just get Mario and Zelda and Metroid and everything out there as much as possible and storm the market with this.
For how long?
Sell out, basically.
How long will nostalgia keep them afloat, though? Do they need to start doing
something? It has
for
30 years.
Yeah. If it's starting to wane
2025.
I want to know what kind of happened, because this was, with the Wii U was the first console that they released ever that resulted in like a drop in their quarterly earnings.
We can talk about the Wii symbol. What did you say, Jeff?
Nintendo, I believe, or at least I saw a commercial for it, Nintendo's bringing back the Nintendo World Championship this year. That's going to be their big draw for, I guess, if you're trying to win just this, expo.
Yeah.
That would be the thing that they could get to draw in people. I saw the commercial for it. It is literally a nostalgia trip. They have Reggie, or whatever his name is, playing a Virtual Boy, and it actually says, "This is great," and that's where I literally was like...
off of that,
it's one of those moments where you're in the new new Sonic the Hedgehog games where Sonic says, "This is fun."
The Power Glove. It's so
You don't need to... If you're telling me, I know it's not.
And to build off the nostalgia topic we touched on, the three of you actually are affected by nostalgia. I managed to miss out on a bunch of... How many of you actually own a working Nintendo product right now?
Original NES.
Yep, original NES.
Who's bought one in the last 5 years?
Well, like the Wii, about 5 years ago. Yeah. Actually, no. I can't believe
The
that.
Wii is what, 10 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's been a while.
Time
yeah.
flies.
So yeah.
But they've had nostalgia games come out. We've had some issue with nostalgia-driven games on the channel where, like, it's easy to say get the IPs out there and keep nostalgia going, but like, the Amiibos sold well, but they were also a hot flaming mess of availability and kind of everything kind of wrong with Nintendo. I own a couple of them because I thought they were cool, but they managed to do nothing really with them in post. Like, and people are getting older and less young people are caring about Nintendo as a company. The IPs are now in an older demographic than a younger demographic. Like,
That's true.
They,
That's true.
they realize that, and this might sound a little strange, Nintendo wants to get into, you know how they had the Wii getting into the living room?
Yeah.
They want to take Nintendo's IP and they want to bring it into the health game market. They want to help people eat better, track their
Well, that's
fitness,
what they
get
tried
more
to do with the Wii,
exercise,
like the Wii
and make
Fit,
it make Nintendo a full lifestyle from when you wake up to when you go to bed.
so, the final one, the one I am probably the most favorite of and the most biased on, what does Sony have to do to win it?
Not much.
No, not much.
Like, it's theirs for the taking right now, because Microsoft has screwed themselves over, and Nintendo's not really even playing in the same sandbox anymore.
Yeah.
Well, Sony, the good thing about them is they tend to put out hardware that works.
Yeah,
They tend to do a lot of copycat stuff. I've never known them to be very innovative,
sure.
but they take a known concept and they do it well. And as long as they keep doing that, and like in the same case, Sony being Sony, put out a really nice, well put together product that works famously, and they'll keep riding along on that. I have yet to see massive amounts of hardware problems with any Sony product in general.
And then they're great, I don't know what it is, but they're great at recruiting developers. They're just great at creating all sorts of developers. They can make their games very deep. They are definitely appeal to the hardcore gaming market. And I mean, they've been, obviously in terms of sales, you know, Nintendo's obviously in a different league, but in terms of winning E3,
Yeah.
in terms of getting
Well,
the
so
most popularity.
Their sales are so good you could say they're just going to cruise.
Well, I think that's the thing. They
Right
can't
through.
cruise. I think if they cruise, they'll wind up at the same level Xbox is at right now.
It's
like,
just a boat joke.
I would say I agree with them. They can't cruise, but I think they're actually coming out swinging this one because I've got the list up on my second monitor. I realize that there's another a new Uncharted
Yeah.
game.
Oh, wow.
coming out, which
That's-
would make Charlie really happy.
Yeah, they announced that last year. They didn't show anything for it. I'd like to see some
Yeah.
gameplay of that. Like they have this thing called PSN Now. I think what it's called. Do any of you guys know what that is?
PS what?
PSN Now or PlayStation Now?
No. Oh wait, is that their TV?
No, it's basically their Netflix-style game streaming.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was their cloud streaming
Yeah,
thing.
and
Yeah.
I think if they can make a way of really pitching that as something I would be interested in. I played with the beta some. It works. Like there's some latency, but for how much it costs, if they could really make a hard sell of here are the 50 games we guarantee in the next 2 months for it kind of thing, that could be a big game changer.
Then you don't
for
have to
consoles.
upgrade your computer and spend $2,000 to get some high-end thing. All you need is a good internet connection.
Yeah.
And PlayStation
Could
does
that-
a really good job getting developers.
Yeah, could that kill some of the other consoles off, or even the Steam machine?
Well, so
Or
Microsoft.
revolutionized console
That's-
gaming in general.
I don't
That's
know.
a thought.
Like
They
doing
can
Netflix
compete.
did to Blockbuster.
They could definitely compete with Steam on that thing. I mean, in that, that is like the complaint we were talking about earlier, in that sometimes you have to upgrade the heck out of your PC before it'll play anything.
Here's a crazy idea. Could they buy Steam?
No,
Could
but they
just
did
walk
buy
down
on
the
live.
cash?
They did buy on live. I don't think they could buy
they did-
Steve.
they
They
did
did
buy
buy
on
on live. I think it's one of those things where also, to run back some, Microsoft also has this weird streaming to a PC thing going on, courtesy of Microsoft or Windows 8, which, excuse me, might be a big game changer, but seeing as it's still part of Microsoft or Windows 10 now, that seems to be a bigger concern for people than the excitement that you could get. Like they talk about how you can use Oculus via the Xbone through a PC. Like you stream to a PC and it's still doing all the processing on the Xbone, but now you're capable of using Oculus the way you would from a normal PC system. So that's kind of piggybacking in some ways on any work the PC does to make Oculus and other VR systems work. Like, do we think Morpheus is the trump card? Like, do we think VR will win it anyway for anyone? Because they're the only ones who have a strong contender.
It's impossible to say, but I would tend to agree. I think it's too early. This time next year, we'll have a more definitive idea because they'll all be out by E3. That'll be the big reveal.
Yeah. No, sure. I'd probably saying it like, does the first one that comes out set the pace and tone and possibly end or ruin VR? Like, if the first VR system that comes out is bad, like Oculus doesn't launch till next year.
Well,
is that a problem for Oculus?
I think I don't like starting these hype engines way too early. Like
they started years ago already.
Yeah, I mean they've been talking about it for so long, people forget. Yeah. And that's really, I mean, that's one of my complaints to E3 is like, it seems like they will announce a game that's not going to come out for 9 months. By that time, a lot of the excitement dies out. Yeah. People's expectations change. People's thought about the game in general changes. I mean, they need to stop having this insane amount of time between releases and announcements.
Well, but that's not going to be... I don't see that changing at all in the future because you have Kickstarter games coming out where it's 2 and 3 or more years, and so people are now almost expecting, I feel like...
Yeah, but I think those tailored to different...
But they are going to forget nonetheless.
I heard it's actually a Kickstarter booth at E3 or something. Like, I think that'd be interesting to see kind of treat Kickstarter not as a developer, maybe as a publisher, because that's kind of what's becoming the game world. Have a Kickstarter booth, like they have a what's the system? The
Ouya.
No, we're not gonna talk about the Ouya. That's how can the Ouya win E3 aside from murdering the other consoles in their sleep?
It gets dropped in the bath of one of the CEOs of the companies while they're in the hotel there. Yeah.
You're not talking about the Ouya.
No, it's a graphics engine. I'm blanking on the name. We used to use it at work. We use it at work still. God, what's it called? It's used in a bunch of indie developers. It's a free graphics engine.
About Unity 3D?
Yeah, Unity.
Oh, Unity, yeah.
Like, Unity now has a Games with Unity booth.
Oh, it's
at
huge.
E3.
Like, well, because they're so big.
Well, yeah, and then Unity is also like the big...
Well, you can develop for all the consoles, including phone with Unity.
Yeah, Unity is like the
thing.
big gaming developing...
But using Unity as a model, should like Kickstarter and Indiegogo start having booths at E3 and stuff like that? Like, is that something that might actually be good to see in the future for E3? Maybe even this year.
I mean, well, now that you've got enough games, it's been enough years on Kickstarter. Why couldn't you put out, show people? I don't know how you can demo Pillars of Eternity because it's going to take it 8 hours to
show
get
success stories still.
Yeah, you can show Mighty Number 9. You can have...
That'd actually be really good.
You can have Igarashi show up in a vampire costume.
You could show off Star Citizen.
You could show off Show off Star Citizen. Absolutely. And have people get all riled up and angry.
So I guess to wind this down some, if the world were perfect and everything you could hope would be announced or happen or whatever at E3, and if your worst nightmare was to also come true, give me a moonshot, hope, prayer thing you'd like to see at E3, and a thing you'll witness in hell when you wind up there thing you're afraid of happening at E3.
Something we're scared of and something we really like.
Yes, basically. Or something you're hoping, something you'd like to see, sorry I keep coughing, like a hope and a fear for E3, I guess, like, and go crazy. Go as far on either end of the spectrum for this one as possible. Don't go like E3 burns down and kills all the people inside crazy, but...
Okay, I got one. Alright, worst fear. DOA Beach Volleyball, new one.
3.
For the Oculus Rift.
Wait.
Oh!
What, you with the boob physics? The boob physics weren't enough for you the first time around?
Alright, my actual
You even have like weighted controls that slow down as you like touch it. Like you get increases the resistance like you're touching
feedback.
Yeah,
DOA series now with time warping physics.
The advancement of gaming feminism.
We've gone that far in this episode.
So speaking of Bayonetta,
we've hit
Or
what is it? Dragon Crown.
We don't talk about Dragon Crown. So that's your biggest fear. What's the moonshot hope or something you'd love to see?
An original game that doesn't just go nuts on, new game thing, new game hardware, or new aspect of gameplay. Just take things that people already like to do and do it really, really well, and put a good story with it. You know, like a really good Silent Hill. That would be great.
So building off that, I'm pretty sure I can guess what Jim's is, what he wants to see.
Something other than a franchise game.
Well, not Silent
Oh, I was
Hills.
expecting you were going to say you wanted to see Silent Hills was still alive.
Oh yeah. No, Silent Hills was still alive would also be a really good thing. Considering that PT did give me nightmares for a few days.
Yeah.
And I couldn't leave the lights.
Consequently, his greatest fear is also that Silent Hill is still alive.
It's both my greatest fear and my greatest excitement that Silent Hills will be released. No, but also I would really like I said earlier, like to see a game that isn't a franchise game that just blows everyone away. And then also maybe, you hit on a really great concept. If somehow they could have this Oculus game that is an FPS, or there is a game that uses a lot of motion sensing in-space controls really well.
They would need some sort of new controller too. They would need something exciting that nobody's heard about yet.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or David.
Sure. Oh no, why don't you go?
Brain chip consoles.
You got one, Jeff?
Yeah, go for it, Jeff.
Brain chips?
So for my worst thing, it's kind of very much rooted in realism, which is I went to E3's website and looked at all their things, and like two of the, I guess, like premier we paid to be on the front page things are tablet games. And not only are they tablet games, it was the same company producing pretty much the exact same game under two different names.
Yeah.
And it was pretty...
Like
I wrote down
World
one of them.
TV
It was like
shows.
complete total bullshit. I can't find the name immediately. I'm
No, it's fine.
Basically means like something like
Forge of Empire.
Yeah.
It's like if I was
I don't want to like turn around and find out that they've taken, because one of the problems I find a lot with the like handheld market from the phone perspective, not from like a DS PSP perspective, is you get a lot of companies out there that their entire business model is min-maxing, where they'll put out 100 pieces of shit a year and hope that just one catches on.
Yeah.
And versus trying to make a AAA game, so you get this like saturated, a million zombie games. Zombies do their taxes. Zombies go to the mall. Zombies go shopping.
Hey, what's wrong with taxes?
There's so many good things that they are just going to overrun and ruin. And now that they're like trying to get into E3, now it's just showing that handheld games are just marketing. They're just trying to get a piece of crap in your hand so that you look at a page where they sell you fucking banner ads.
Yeah.
That is I don't want it to go further down that path, and I think we're past the point of no return.
So, not to totally derail us from this nice actual conversation we're having, do we think the mobile, handheld, iPad press conference is coming in the future?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I like mobile games. I mean, I like the idea of mobile games. The only problems is exactly what Jeff got on. Is like there are so many games like that are just either shitty games like Kairosoft.
Shovelware. Shovelware.
Yeah, they'll produce like the same game with different skins. It's like the Seth MacFarlane of video games. And then like, or they'll produce, different companies will produce the same game with just different skins. Like, it's Farmville. Oh no, it's Game of War, which is basically Farmville but with weapons. Or, so and so. So,
I didn't even think of that. It's a really good point, though, the fact that mobile gaming is slowly eating more and more of the gaming space as it
Which is sort of sad. They're just, like, I mean, a lot of games are like this, but it's still, it's just a whole different monster.
Yeah.
It's a shame that you could tell a really neat story, I think.
Well, we could
But you got it on handheld. Maybe the evolution will be you start to get some more interesting content on mobile.
So I just had the image of like Assassin's Creed where you have to pay money to get a new move.
Yeah, exactly. Probably something like that.
Don't say that too loud. Ubisoft might hear you. So, you play. It's a thing. So what's your good thing, Jeff, now that you've given us the most depressing of the things to be afraid of?
Yeah. The good thing, I'm really hoping that the new Kingdom Hearts game, the new Final Fantasy game are as good as they are. I will legitimately buy a PlayStation 4 for those two games if I have to.
Fair enough.
And also, I am kind of stoked for there being a new Ratchet & Clank game, because Insomniac Games makes good games. I even played Resistance.
No? You got any, David?
You know, I can't think of a really bad one. My clever is gone for the evening, apparently.
Doesn't have to be clever. It could be an actual one, like Star Citizen pushed back to 2020 can be one.
You know what? The Star Citizen. Let's not even get into that. We did that 6 months ago.
We've made too many jokes about it.
We made too many Star Citizen jokes, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. I think the one hope, just because I've gotten caught up with Bloodstained recently. By the way, everybody who gets this, go out and fund Bloodstained.
Pretty sure they have.
I hope so. There on his Twitter feed, the fellow who was doing the previous 2 Castlevanias, the producer for it, Dave Cox, he sounds like a really stand-up, really great guy in terms of what he can make. It sounds like he's ready to announce something big, and it sounds like it's a new Castlevania. My hope is that suddenly something like that could come out that's gothic and dark and fun and modern and cool. I would just love that.
Yeah.
I love the architecture, I love the design.
It's like Val Halen or
Sure.
Val Helsing in the form of a video game.
Bloodborne!
It is actually Bloodborne. Okay.
You want Bloodborne too?
I want Dave Cox to come jumping out in a costume and be like, "Here's my new game." Yeah, that's the best thing I could think of. But it's not. I can't really think of anything bad other than something very large falling on somebody.
That's fair. I guess to go kind of super vague, but also just if you're watching the videos, you know me this way. Mine are the same side of the same coin. I walked away from E3 last year with games like No Man's Sky just being like,
oh, No Man's Sky.
like, right, but why do I care about it? Like, there's so many games announced last year that everyone told me I should care about, but nothing actually did. And given a couple weeks after E3, the reactions to them were kind of like, I don't want E3 this year. I'm really afraid they're going to do it again because it worked so well for them last year in some ways, to have a bunch of vague concept game demo kind of things. Like, I've seen all the No Man's Sky stuff. I was about to say my example, but I still have no clue what you do in that game. I want to walk away from E3 if they show a game having an understanding of what that game is more about.
Well, it was also early in the console cycle last year too, so there really wasn't any proof of concept that anybody could show, at least for main consoles. So it had to be a bunch of fluff and hype.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
No, my fear is I'm going to walk away from E3 feeling apathetic again. The flip side of it is I just want one game. I really just mean I want
Destiny 2,
Bayonetta 4,
Destiny DLC. Yeah, I'm gonna Bayonetta 3 before Bayonetta 4. Let's jump right to it.
We're gonna do what Windows did and just go from 8 to 10.
Bayonetta 4 DLC for Destiny 2.
I would like to see some Destiny DLC announcements, but I understand Destiny is a horrible sickness I really should be cured of. I would like to see something new I get excited about. Last week, again, they showed off a bunch of new I didn't care about. I want to see something I don't know anything about before E3 that I walk away going, holy crap, that looks awesome. Like,
Goat Simulator 2.
But it's a sequel, so it doesn't count. I want something to genuinely surprise me this year, because it's been a long time in gaming since something
from Suda 51.
Ah, yes.
No, I played this last game. I'm now aware of Suda 51.
Was that the one with Shinji Mikami?
Possibly?
It was a kind of a horror game?
Yeah, no, that was, Shadows of the Damned or something, the one he's talking about. What I'm talking about is,
Silent Hill
Killer's Dead.
Oculus.
Oh, Killer is Dead. Okay, yeah.
Killer's Dead was dead.
Killer's Dead? Okay.
Any final remarks they want to make?
We should probably mention that Charlie will be at.
Oh yes, I will be at E3, and if you have anything you want me to go look at, put it in the comments. I'll try and
I don't think. Can you steal something for us?
I
Can you
can
bring
try.
back?
Can you sneak me in there?
No, I can't do that. They're much better on security for that.
Bring back part of
Steal
someone else's
Igarashi
merch
for
stand.
us.
Yeah.
This is
Koji
mine
Igarashi, like kidnap him. Oh my God! I kidnapped Koji Igarashi. I don't know what to do.
Where are you right now?
in your car.
How often should we feed him?
But yeah, I will be at E3. I'm trying to take the fan approach of just like, that is cool, I'll take some video if I can. The goal is to try and experience E3 without doing the press bullshit of interviews and try and avoid some of the spin you generally get from that. So if you have something you want me to check out, I will try my hardest to check it out. I've got the entire convention to go and run around for it.
All 3 days.
All 3 days. Yeah. Except I'm up with the Extra Life guys, but that's a separate set of videos we'll do later. But yeah, it's...
Hunt down Guillermo del Toro if he's there. Find out what he's actually going to make, because he needs to do something.
Tell me, Del Toro!
Because, let's be honest, you were saying the same thing. If you're going to get quality games, bring in people who know how to make a quality, cool story and really grab people.
Yeah.
Like
Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah. And Benicio del Toro, Guillermo del Toro teaming up.
Whoa.
That'd be amazing.
To rule the universe.
At the same time, if you're going to be at E3 and are a fan of our videos or something, try and find me. I'll be there. Whatever. We'll hang out. I'm social.
You should wear like a fancy hat with a
I will
blinking light
probably
on
be
top.
wearing the Something Wicked Studios shirt. I may be wearing my Fez. I will definitely be wearing one of our Skull shirts, though, so I stand up.
That's
Wait. The Fez?
You want to put a skull out under it?
There's a skull.
There's a skull.
That's a nice skull. Here. That's what the Fez looks like, ladies and gents.
This is the Fez. I probably won't be wearing it because, well, E3 is semi-professional, but yeah. Definitely a shirt, though. But yeah, if you want to talk, find me or something, whatever. If you want to tell me that Jim sucks or something, I'll totally convey the message for you.
Or that Charlie sucks and that I rule and that I should start my own doctor.
They both suck. Nixon's telling you.
Alright,
Listen to Nixon.
Alright, thank you very much for watching us and tuning in.
We hope it's a wonderful E3 and we all have fun. Jeff, say something intelligent to get us out of here.
Train.